Hello and welcome to Kings Grant Farm. I'm Ron. My wife and I are the co-owners of the farm, and we are brand new farmers. I should say, really have no idea what I'm doing. We purchased this farm 4 months ago. It is now January 2024. We purchased it in September of last year. We purchased it because we wanted more land, and this is what we ended up with. So let me take you a quick tour around the farm. We're going to learn, we're going to make mistakes, and we'll hopefully have some wins as we go. So behind me is 12 acres. Has used to be a horse farm, so you'll see the red barn in the background. Just was recently painted, at least on some of the sides it was. And the house was built behind me here in 1705. The house right now is 319 years old. It was built the year before Benjamin Franklin was born. Pretty old house. I think it's had quite maybe 3 or 4 additions on it. Pretty good sized house. Also has a small in-law apartment on the other side, which my mother-in-law lives there. Great to have her close by. So as we walk around, this is my first video of the farm. Like I said, it's the Kings Grant Farm. We're located 12 miles from the ocean. We're about a mile from southern New Hampshire. We're on the northeast corner of Massachusetts in Merrimack, Massachusetts. Behind me here, you'll see some of the corrals. You'll see it coming back here. Behind me, we have a small gray. It looks like a garage. It's really a storage shed, a fancy storage shed. We own 3 acres on this side of the rail trail. Actually, we have a rail trail that runs through us, and we have 9 acres on the other side. Some of it's wet, some of it's usable, some of it's been used, like I said, for horses in the past. Prior to the COVID pandemic, about 4 or 5 years ago, what we hear is about 9 or 10 horses were here on the property. Things happened. Unfortunately, the farm part of the house kind of went into disrepair. It stayed like that for a while. We picked it up, like I said, in September of last year. I've been rebuilding the fencing, getting the barn situated. We put a new roof on the barn. We painted the barn. On the cold days, working a little bit on the inside of the house, just freshening it up. But as we walk this way, I can show you more about the house and the barn. We'll take a quick tour of the barn as we go. So far, what we've added so far is we have 3 barn cats. 2 small ones and a big one, squirrel, Ada, and chipmunk. I'm not too big on cats, but they're here protecting us. So there's my storage shed. Right here we have a barn, the red barn. We had to have this repainted, did some repairs in it. Overall, the barn was in pretty good shape inside. The stalls are going to need some work. I have a lot of my tools here. I'm an ex-contractor, painting contractor, so I have a lot of painting tools, and just over the years you collect tools. So what we have on this side is 1 corral. I'm using it right now for my larger tools. Behind us is another feed area. We have a grain storage here. We have a corral over here which goes out back. I have storage in there. The problem there is there's a door there with about a foot and a half drop to step outside into the barn. Has an old chimney here. When we put the new roof on, we got rid of the actual chimney, so it's never going to heat. Right over here, which is kind of unique, in here we have a step down 2 corrals. We'll look at it from the outside. Goats are coming. We have 3 goats that are coming about a month from now, Nigerian dwarf goats. They're triplets, and they're going to be staying down there. So as we walk, you can see behind me as we go, we have a corral on this side. I have some farm gates and some fencing in there. We have an empty corral with some hay in it, just straw rather. And then on this side is, move it over here. This one right here is going to be hopefully rented out in a few months, but I know I have some work to do in here. So anyway, you see the door is in a little disrepair. The floor, rubber floor that we have is all curled, so I'm gonna have to replace some of that. When you open this door up, you can see the sheep field, or what's what we call it. And on this one down here, this is where the cats hang out. That's when we brought the cats in. We had to adapt them to our barn so they knew where they were going to get fed and where they're going to stay. And that's when we started them out, and they worked out great. So as we walk along the barn has had at least one addition on here that I can tell when we go up into the hay loft, which is above us. Holds about 200 bales of hay, I was told. We'll see down the road, see how many it actually holds. So as I'm going to scan behind me, you can see some of the barn. See that crooked tree right there? That's coming down. I just had a person over here today. It looks like it got hit by lightning or something, and it's leaning pretty bad. We have the chicken coop. In the chicken coop, we have 13 chickens. We have 6 quail, and we actually have 17 little chicks. That was 16 little chicks in the house, just was delivered to us last week. But as we walk along, you can kind of see parts of the house. This is an addition to the house, and I think part of the second floor is an addition. The barn here, you'll notice when we get to the back, we didn't paint the back of the barn. The back of the barn is in kind of rough shape, so we're going to be doing some repairs. Behind me, you see some fresh woods, some rough sawn wood. This is going to be where the goats are going to be. I started putting up, cutting this corral in different pieces, section it off, knowing the goats aren't going to need all this because they're probably only going to be about 20 pounds when we get them, and they're, like I said, there's triplet small ones. So what we have here is this is where they're going to hang out. This is going to be a place where they can get out of the sun and also get some hay. They will have access to other hay, but I thought this was kind of cool. It was already here. The structure was here, so I just rebuilt this little room for them to hang out in. Like I said, the barn needs some help. It's been years. What it needs is, doesn't just need help. It needs help, and then it's going to need some gutters. I know how to bang some nails. I know how to paint. This farming thing is all new to me. What we're going to end up doing in our plan is to actually have a small roadside farm stand, which would be on the honor system, where you just, put your money in for whatever you purchase. We're not going to man it or anything like that. I think there's a need for it in the neighbors, and we've talked to a lot of the people in town on Facebook and other social media, and everybody is for it. So we're going to go for that. As you see the barn. So they had 2 horses that lived outside. They had one on the other corral that was in and out. As we go back this way, I'm going to turn around and you can see the back fields. All this fencing here has been rebuilt and painted / stained. This is the McLaren rail trail behind us. Pretty cool. It goes this way. It was the B&M Railroad into the, I believe, early 70s. And then like everything else around, they do the rail trail. Our property is split by the rail trail. So it's kind of odd for some people to have people walking through your yard. But we live in a small town. Everybody's so friendly around here. And we're getting a lot of encouragement of rebuilding this farm. As like I said, it's been a few years since it's been taken care of. So that's one side of the rail trail. Over here, we're going to come back over here, and you're going to see this is our back fields. I'd love to say it would be filled with horses. I'm not a horse person, but you never know. I was never a goat person or a chicken person either. The rail trail down here is one way. We showed you the other way. What I want to do is I want to show you around the back side of the barn here. See this over here, back side, that's the outbuilding. But on this side, we actually have what we were told it was called was a sheep field. As we walk down this way, you can see the field. We had it cleared. It was roughly, I don't know, it's probably 150, 200 feet by maybe 100 feet, 80 feet long. Pretty good sized field. It has the fencing, and it also has wire fencing on top of that, except for the far section. A tree had come down and taken out about 6 or 8 sections, which we'll rebuild. Also, as you can see on some of this, the overgrowth, that's actually pretty minimal compared to what some of the other fencing was. The fencing needed to be, it was crushed, a lot of it was crushed by by trees. The vines that just took over were just amazing. And you'll see right here, this is where one of the areas I believe the horses were brought out to the back field. The fencing on this side, there wasn't any left. It was all just fallen down and buried into grass. So the last 4 months, we were able to do a lot of things. And as we walk this way, you can see behind me, it's actually pretty good size. So we're going to have vegetables, the large vegetable garden. It's probably going to be, for me, large. It's going to be about 60 by 60. So it'll be a good size. Just market kind of vegetables. Kind of assist with our grocery shopping as well as hopefully some of the other residents around the area. As you'll see, this is what we call the sheep field. I don't know if those sheep will be put in there or not, but something will be put in there. We just can't let it go to waste. It is really, really good size. This is the outside the two horse stalls. On this one over here, that will hopefully this will be the next one. The first one we actually lease out for some horse boarding. We don't know. We'll come to that, and that's my utility shed. So you see, I'm in for a lot here at the King's Grant Farm. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I'm going to learn a lot of things. Thankfully, a lot of people share a lot of information around here. And hopefully we're going to make a go for it. Beautiful piece of property. We're very fortunate to have it. So I hope you join us as we learn, we grow. We have wins, and unfortunately I know we'll have a few losses. But before we leave, let's go check on the chickens here. Something I'm learning about as we go. Had a little predator inside the chicken coop the other day. Not the internal chicken coop, but I have a little area that's fenced off that I seen something dig. So yesterday, spent the day burying wire fencing. This right here is electric fence, but it's not electrified. But don't tell the chickens that. Kind of keeps them in. But what I notice is as long as I come out here and make a few noises, they all come running to me anyway. So very fortunate we haven't lost any chickens yet, and cross our fingers we don't. So in our chicken coop, we have behind me up on the roost over there, we have 5 leghorns, the white ones. They're about 14 weeks old right now. That's 5 leghorns. We have 8 Rhode Island Reds. The 16 in the house are Rhode Island Reds. And then right behind me here, we have 6 quail. The quail's all for another story. It was actually purchased by mistake. I misread an online ad and ended up with 6 quail. Here we are in the end of January. The 8 laying hens that we have right now who are ready to lay are giving us about 5 eggs a day. But I'll tell you, for the 6 quail, they're giving us at least 4 eggs a day. Of course, you have to eat about, equivalent of 1 egg is about 3 quail eggs. But the quail eggs are beautiful. They look like little Easter eggs. So some of our property, you'll see here, is we have the white fence there. We own some land on the other side. There is an access to get to the rail trail. I believe it's the town's easement or something like that, but it honestly doesn't look like it's been used in forever, but it's there. So on the other side of that fence, we're putting blueberries, asparagus, things that are perennial crops. And on this side of the fence, this is where our garden will be, possibly even a small greenhouse, temporary one this year because I was a little late to pull a trigger on it. But over the summer into the fall, we'll probably end up putting a permanent one. So this is the quick snapshot of the farm. We'll be doing these videos often. Hopefully my editing skills will get much better as we go, as well as how I hold my hand and how smooth this all goes. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Kings Grant Farm, Merrimack, Massachusetts. Welcome. Please subscribe, I guess, like us, make a comment, tell me what I can do better. All eyes and ears. Thank you so much and enjoy the day. Bye.